I've hit the record button. Okay, Jess. Well, look, we've done the introductions. We know who we both are. The point about this session is it's to kickstart your therapy, to make sure that you are kind of fully informed about what you need to do. I know we talked a bit about this at the assessment previously, but I want to be sure that you're aware of what you need to do and why. Okay, because it's really important that you understand the reasons why we're doing this stuff, not just me telling you what to do. Because if I just tell you what to do, how likely is it you'll do it? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, probably not that likely. I know how much weight I can put on just eating normally, so I'm not keen on trying that just yet.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about why you end up putting the weight on in a little bit. But first up, I want to be sure that we're absolutely clear about the things that I'll need you to do. So at this early stage, because I want to get to the point where we can help you change your problematic eating, get rid of the binges, move on to any of the emotional factors that are going on, move on to the body image stuff. I want to get you started with the stuff we know works at the beginning. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do is going to get you to keep diaries every week. Now, you did a food diary between the assessment and this time, and that will be the basic diary that we do for the next few sessions. And the reason for that is so that we know what you're eating. How do you feel about diary keeping?
A bit nervous, I suppose, seeing it written down. I think it would, just be quite weird seeing my own habits, I guess, over the day and the weeks, seeing how much I eat when I binge.
Well, let's start out with this past week. You've done the diary this week. Did that make you feel weird when you were doing it?
A bit, I guess, but I suppose I could try again.
Did it feel more weird at the start of the week or by the end of the week?
More weird at the start, yeah. I suppose it was easier.
Okay, weird is absolutely normal here because what we're trying to do is get you to do something very different to what you've done before. Okay, so if it's different, if it's weird, that's actually a pretty good sign. Okay, so I'm going to keep pushing you to give us an honest account of what you eat so that we can understand that impact on your other eating, on your binging, and also on your weight. Okay, so that's number one, diaries. I'm going to get you to fill those in every time, and they'll change slightly later on, but right now it's going to be that basic, what did I eat, when did I eat it, what was going on at the time diary. So that's number one. Number two, I'm going to need you to be aware of the impact that your eating is having on your weight. So I'm going to need to weigh you each week. And the critical thing about weighing you each week is I don't want you to weigh yourself in between times. I want you to weigh yourself only when we're having the therapy session. And when we're in the same room, I'll do it with you, or I'll get you when you're on your own to do it and show me what your weight is. And the point about this is I want you to make a link that I don't think you're making terribly well. So how do you feel about the weighing side?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know straight away. I just know that I'm really overweight, and I think the numbers are quite scary to me at the minute.
Okay. I have to say, I don't know whether you're overweight because most people are terrible at judging people's weight. So I'm never prepared to guess what someone's weight is. And there are various reasons that we need to weigh you. Number one is safety. Got to be sure that you're actually safe and you're not suddenly zooming up in weight or plummeting in weight. We need to be sure about that one. Another one is so that you learn that actually being weighed isn't as scary as you thought it was. But remember what you said about the diaries. They felt weird at the beginning. They got easier later on. Number three reason is something that, in terms of your treatment, is absolutely essential. And it ties into why we want the diaries done. Okay, so the number three thing is that we need you to understand that the biggest single driver of your weight is going to be what you eat. And right now, if you don't know what you're eating, because you haven't been keeping diaries up till now, and if you don't know what's happening to your weight, all you're left with is terror. All you're left with is that belief that whatever I eat, my weight will shoot up out of control. So what I want is for you to be able to see what I eat actually is the governor of what I weigh. Not my weight shoots up anyway, but my weight has got something to do with what I'm eating. And if we can't do that, you can't learn. If you can't learn, you will stay terrified. And I don't like people being terrified. Well, that's not entirely true. I like you being scared enough to learn, but I don't like you being so terrified that your life goes on hold. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with feeling scared about it, but it makes sense, I suppose.
Okay. Now, sometimes what people say is, yeah, I understand how that would apply to other people. It doesn't apply to me. And under those conditions, if you say to me, I do not want to be weighed under any conditions, I will say to you, it's absolutely your right not to be weighed. But it's also my right to say to you, then we can't do an effective therapy because you're taking away one of those critical tools from us. So if someone says, I won't do a diary or won't be weighed, I'm stuffed. And the horrible truth is, for every effective therapy we know about, you need those two things. So since my goal is to get you better, I don't see how we could do it if you did turn to me and say, I'm just not going to be weighed. I'm not going to know what my weight is. So, as I say, it's up to you. But if that initial reluctance turns into, I'm not doing it, then let's not waste your time. Okay?
Yeah.
So tell me, how are you feeling about the weighing thing right now?
I'm still nervous, but if it means I can learn a bit, or maybe you'll see that my weight will just go up anyway, then we can see, I suppose.
And I'm gonna say something to you might find horrific, or you might not.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I don't mind either way. You might be right. Your weight might be shooting up. It might be plummeting down. I just don't know. The only way that you're going to convince me that your weight is shooting up is by showing me it's shooting up. But then I'm still going to be saying to you, then what we need to do is cut down those binges. And I'll explain why in a few minutes about that. Okay? So that's numbers 1 and 2, diary, being weighed. Number 3, we're going to need to get you to change your eating. And that's a biggie, because for most people, they're really scared about food. They're scared about the effect it'll have on them. Yeah, when I say I need to get you to change your eating, what's your reaction to that one?
That I don't want to. I feel like it's the only way I can try to control my weight. But yeah, I want to change, but the eating things, I'm not so sure it's going to be easy to change.
No one is pretending it's going to be easy, and no one's pretending you're going to love it. Okay. In fact, what I often say to people is, at some point in this whole process, you're going to hate my guts for the things I want you to try changing. You're absolutely going to hate my guts, and the horrible secret is I don't care. I don't mind if you hate me. I mind if you don't get well. Okay. So my big drive is going to be to get you to do these things to find out. And if it turns out you're right and your weight shoots up because we get you to eat breakfast, for example, then I will sit back and I'll say, you were right. And if I'm right, you're probably going to sit back and say, I still hate him, but maybe I'm learning something. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So and we're not ending at the moment, but if the session were to end now, would you come back next time, or would you walk away from here thinking, no, having nothing to do with this one? What would your reaction be?
I suppose I have a bit of a feeling of the second one. Like it sounds like a lot and it sounds really scary. But if you're saying it's going to help me realize what needs to change, and like looking at my weight on the scales and stuff will help me look at my behaviors and my eating and how they're linked, then I'll give it a go. But yeah, it sounds scary at the same time.
Okay. Frankly, if it wasn't scaring you, you'd already solved the problem. If it wasn't a worry, you'd already be there. I don't think there's any doubt about that whatsoever. So I appreciate that you're scared of it. I appreciate you're going to hate my guts sometimes, but I also like, my goal here is to get you the hell out of here without you having the eating problem. I know you've had therapy before. I know it wasn't effective because you're still here. So how about we try a therapy that might give you a chance to get different? Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next bit there.